What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Dawset. Today we had a hotfix coming out for V Rising. Today's June 16, and we are gonna check out the patch notes real quick here today and see what the changes are. Balance changes. In general, Vermin Salve, you're not gonna get interrupted anymore when you get hit while casting it, which is kind of cool, I guess. Scholar Blood. Spell power bonus reduced to 10 to 20% from 12 to 25, and free cast chance reduced to 15% from 20%. Overall, Scholar Blood is getting a nerf. Really sucks for me. I love Scholar Blood. It's my favorite blood to use in the game, but it's getting a bit nerfed. But I think it's still gonna be interesting to use, actually. I do think it has been a little bit too powerful, actually. When you have like a high percentage Scholar Blood, you do a lot of damage with those spells, man. Mounted combat, I don't really care about that much. Melee damage done when mounted is reduced by 30%. Okay, good to know. Blood, Veil of Blood, it's the movement ability in the blood tree. Healing is increased to 6% from 5%. Getting a slight buff, which is always good. It's the first movement ability you have in the game, so it's nice to see, actually. I like to always have like one healing ability. I don't always do, but for the most part I do have some healing ability with me. So maybe Veil of Blood would be a viable option now to have. Who knows? I'll try it out eventually. In the Unholy Tree, Corpse Explosion, which is one of my favorite abilities, but I haven't used it that much because there are other stronger abilities. It seems to be getting a bit of a buff here, actually. Damage is increased to 140%, up from 125%. So that's a big buff, man. I like that. Baiting Snare duration is also increased to 1.5 seconds from 1 second. And the cooldown is reduced by 2 seconds. So that's insane. That's a real nice buff for a Corpse Explosion. I might actually use that even more. Unstable Mosquito, damage is increased to 70% from 60%. Personally, I'm not using it that much, but people who enjoy that playstyle, being able to throw out ads on the mobs you're trying to kill, I guess it's great for you guys. Veil of Bones, the movement ability in the Unholy Tree. The initial projectile damage, if you don't know, Veil of Bones makes so that you jump with Veil of Bones, and the next time you attack you will also fire a projectile that does damage to the enemy, and it bounces to other enemies as well. The initial damage is increased to 75% from 25%, so it's getting a damage buff on the initial hit. The max bounces are reduced though, down to 3 from 4, and each bounce now reduces the damage of the next bounce by 25%. I'm not sure if it did that before or not. If they just added it, it's a slight nerf. Yeah, getting that initial thing. I'm gonna try that. In the Illusion Tree, we have Spectral Wolf, and another ability that I find being really cool, but I'm not using it that much. I don't know why. It's getting buffed though. It's getting its damage increased to 125%, up from 100. So it might be more worth using it now. Cooldown increased to 8 seconds from 7 seconds though. Spectral Wolf also makes it so that you reduce the damage your enemy does for a few seconds by 30%, right? 30% for 5 seconds. It is a strong ability to have with you, but it's very situational. Mirror Strike, cast time reduced by 0.7 seconds for 1 second. That's one of the ultimate abilities, and one ability that I've been using quite a lot, actually, and it is really annoying getting interrupted when you're trying to throw it, especially if you're in a tight spot and you have like a lot of mobs that are like trying to hit you and hitting you, and they interrupt you, and you're just trying to get into that iframe of the Mirror Strike, but you can't get it out, so you just get locked and you get killed instead. It's really annoying. So getting a reduced cast time might actually help a lot with that. So that's really cool. In the Chaos section, in this Chaos Tree, Chaos Barrier, projectile damage reduced to 50% from 70%. Chaos Barrier is obviously one of the barriers, it's one of the shields, the defensive ability. If you get hit, you launch a projectile towards the thing that hit you, so to reduce that damage, actually. I actually haven't used this ability at all, I think. I don't know if I've even tried it. I'm so happy with using other defensives, so And now it's even getting nerfed. Chaos Volley getting nerfed. No! One of my favorite abilities because it was so goddamn strong. Cooldown is increased to 8 seconds, up from 7 seconds. And projectile damage reduced to 110% from 125%. It's still gonna be a strong ability, but it is getting a slight nerf. I think it's needed. Actually, it was a really strong ability because you get the projectile damage and you get the burn afterwards. And it did hit really hard. Power Surge. Shield Absorb reduced to 120% from 150%. Power Surge is actually an ability that removes all negative effects, and they apply a shield to yourself or a target ally. So they're gonna reduce the amount shielded, but it's still gonna be quite strong in PvP to like get out of CC and stuff like that. Removing negative effects, slows and shit like that. You can just pop the shit and you get out. Veil of Chaos, the movement ability. Cooldown increased to 9 seconds from 8 seconds. No! Illusion area damage reduced to 40% from 50%. That's fine. I actually do use it to do a bit of AoE damage sometimes. But 1 more second cooldown kind of sucks. But it is a strong, really strong movement ability or travel ability or whatever. And I think a lot of people are using it because you jump. It's the ability that allows you to jump the furthest out of all the Veil abilities, out of all the movement abilities. Merciless Charge, another ultimate ability. Cast time reduced to 0.7 seconds from 0.8 seconds. That's also really cool. I hate when you try to pop your ulti and you get interrupted. It's really annoying, so reduced cast time might help with that. And it fixed an issue where you might get locked in position for a short duration when the area effect triggered early during the dash. I've had this happen a couple of times whenever I use this ability, and it is really annoying getting locked in position. Because this, to me, in this game, movement is really important, and getting locked somewhere is frustrating and can be quite deadly, so fixing that's really good. Now let's look at the Frost Tree. Crystal Lance, another ability that I really like, but I haven't been using that much because there are other abilities that I have felt stronger or more useful. But it seems like it's getting a major buff, man. The projectile damage is increased to 190% from 150%. That's a big goddamn damage buff for Crystal Lance. Cast time is reduced to 1.2 seconds from 1.4 seconds. Really good, because one of the reasons I didn't like using it was the long cast time. Cooldown is reduced to 7 seconds from 8 seconds. Splinter damage is getting a little bit of a nerf, but everything else is getting buffed, so I might actually use this a lot more after this patch. Ice Nova. Cooldown is reduced to 10 seconds from 12 seconds. Really cool. I use Ice Nova quite a bit. I've done it in the past at least. I might actually go over and use Corpse Explosion a bit more now. Who knows? We'll see. Veil of Frost. Nova of frost damage reduced to 30% from 50%. So that's getting a slight nerf. I haven't used Veil of Frost. Oh, well, I have used it a little bit. It felt kind of strong actually when I used it, so might be needed. Arctic Leap, however, let's see, which one is that? Arctic Leap, I have never used this. Fixed an issue where Arctic Leap would hit the same target twice. Okay, that sounds problematic, so that's good that they fixed that, I guess. Damage reduced to 200% from 225%. Must have done a ton of damage, dude. I wonder why I haven't used that ability. My favorite ultimate ability is actually Heart Strike, so I've been using that instead. Now let's look at weapons. Crossbow bolts no longer deal less damage than normal shot after using a Veil of Frost, Unholy, or Blood. That's good. I did wonder sometimes why my shots did less damage every once in a while, and that's the answer, I guess. Must have been a bug, right? Spear, 1,000 spears. Damage per hit reduced to 25% from 30%. 200% total damage from 240%. Yeah, this is the Q ability in the spear, I believe. That was really strong before the Q ability. It did a lot of damage, so it did deserve a nerf. It's gonna be sad for all the people trying to do their one-shot macros in the game, but hey, it did need a nerf, I believe. It was quite strong. Harpoon is getting cast time reduced, and damage increased a little bit by 20% actually. So that's quite, it's getting buffed. So Harpoon getting buffed. The spears, 1,000 spears getting nerfed. I think that's a good change for the spear, actually. Axe, another weapon that's been really strong. Incapacitate duration from intersecting hit reduced to 1 second from 2 seconds as needed. Damage per axe hit reduced to 80% from 85%. Like I said, axe has also been a really strong weapon, especially in PvP. Mace, crushing blow, that's what it's called. Damage increased to 150% from 110%. Quite a big damage increase on crushing blow, which is needed. It did feel quite lackluster, I believe. I've used it a little bit from time to time, but it doesn't feel that powerful. So this damage increase is quite welcome. Smack is the ability where you knock the enemies back. The cooldown is reduced to 8 seconds from 9, which is nice, I believe. So a slight buff to maces. That's awesome. It has felt like a really lackluster weapon before. Now looking at sword. Uh-oh. Whirlwind. Damage per hit reduced to 30% from 35%. 150% total from 175%. My sword is getting nerfed. It really needs the nerf because it did do a lot of damage. That's one of the reasons I like the sword. But hey, I'm probably still gonna use it. It's a slight nerf. It's not a huge difference, man. Right? Right? I hope not, at least. Shockwave, it's the E ability where you throw out your sword and you knock something up, and then you can click the ability again. You jump out on them and you just stab them. Shockwave cast time increased to 0.7 seconds from 0.6 seconds. Okay, I can live with that. Damage per teleport strike reduced to 20% from 25%. So that ability is also getting nerfed. Sword overall seeing a little bit of a nerf once again. Sad news for me because I really like using the sword. It's probably my favorite weapon next to crossbow. Crossbow and sword is my favorite combination. Slashers, I haven't used those that much, but elusive strike damage per hit increased to 70% from 60%, so they're getting a bit buffed there. Camouflage, the invisibility ability on slashers, which is very popular to use in PvP. Camouflage incapacitate duration reduced to 2.5 seconds from 3 seconds. I do believe that's needed. This weapon has been quite strong in PvP. Camouflage has been a part of one-shot combinations, or attempt to one-shot combinations at least. So reducing that incapacitate duration might actually be needed. For me personally, there are plenty of abilities that I use that are getting nerfed, which is sad for me, but I think overall the changes are really good. What needed to be nerfed is getting nerfed, and what needed buffs are getting buffs. So we're going through the patch changes. Once again, like I said, I feel the changes are good. I feel like they are fair.